right, good morning. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing today? Everybody good? Everybody good. How's business? Everybody busy? Who's busy? Raise your hand if you're busy. You're going to be busy because you got a lot of stuff. Everybody, welcome Ebony. She's in the front row up here. She's a new agent, just joined us. Good morning. If you see her around, please say hi. She's very friendly, very nice. She's going to be getting started this week, so she will be busy because she's going to have a lot of stuff to do. All right. So we have Tiffany with Paramount Title is here with you today.
Hey guys.
Admit them. So you have to hold the mic a little bit closer. It's more of a directional, talk straight into the top of it. So what I asked Tiffany to do is just she's going to be coming around to all the office like she has been doing. She wants to continue to be present. Please feel free to reach out and ask her any questions. If you don't have her cell phone number, we will put it in the chat and she'll tell you right now. What is your phone number, Tiffany?
It's 813-605-9004.
Tiffany is a great point of contact for Paramount Title. Obviously, connect with your closer. Talk to the closer that you have. But if you're having any issues or concerns and need someone to talk to right away, that's what Tiffany's there for. She's handling marketing. She's handling issues. She's handling escalation of things. And she's just a great point of contact for all that. And I asked her to touch on a little bit. So I hear a lot. I haven't heard anything from the title company. They haven't called me. They haven't this. They didn't do that. What's going on? I don't know. Are they supposed to call me? And I just asked her to touch a little bit on that. What are the point of contacts that you should be looking for and the title company should be communicating with you on so that we can have clear communication?
So, as you know, communication is the key to any great relationship, right? You have to be able to communicate. If you can't, then it's going to go downhill real fast. Okay. So with title, we are there for you guys 100% of the way. So everyone has a different way of communicating. Some people want us to communicate to them about every step of the way. Other agents, they don't want to hear anything until there's a problem or if there's a problem. So it always boils down to how you as an individual want us to handle your files. And we're okay with that. Once we get to know you, we know your style, we know when to communicate something, and we know when, just process it, get it done, let you guys know when the closing is. But you should always hear, or at least your buyers and sellers should always hear from us at certain times. So once we get the contract at Paramount Title, we turn it into order entry. Our order entry team processes it, gives it a file number, sets up our file. Within that day that we receive that contract, within 24 hours, your buyers should hear from us. Depends on as long as we have their contact information. If you fill out your deal sheet with your buyer's information, or we have the other agent's buyer, information, and they get us, that buyer is going to hear from us within 24 hours.
See why it's important to have a deal sheet? Like a lot of us leave these blank on the deal sheet. Put the buyer's information on the deal. Put your buyer or seller information on the deal sheet. Name, phone number, and email. Put the buyer's agent or listing agent on the deal sheet if you're using Paramount.
And
either
their
way,
email or phone number.
Please. They can't get the things they need unless they have that contact, and then they're sending emails out asking you for it, and you get another email. Well, why didn't you ask them? Or how come they didn't get this? If you just put it on the deal sheet up front, they have everything they need, and they start the communication process gathering everything they need. I just talked with somebody who the different title company is working on now. 5 days before closing, we need the loan payoff from the seller. Why? Because they never got from the listing agent, they never got the seller's contact information. They've been asking, and they finally were able to get in touch with them to get the mortgage payoff now, and it's probably going to need an extension. So get it to them up front. Put it on the deal sheet.
Yep, because those are very important. I mean, a lot of agents, you would think it'd be easy to find their email address or their phone numbers, and it's not always the case. So
it's like a for sale by owner trying to find their listing. Where to go? Oh, man, this amazing marketing plan you have. I can't find your property.
So if we can't get the information, we can't contact them. But we have a certain schedule. So that's within 24 hours. Usually we will touch base with your seller once we have our title commitment, because our title commitment will dictate what we need to get, what information from the seller. If it's in a trust, we know we might need a copy of the trust. If we know we need payoffs, we're going to reach out to them to get the payoffs. So typically we will wait to contact them till we have that outlines exactly what we need to ask them. So we're not just bugging them a million times.
You said when you get title commitment?
Yep.
When you get title commitment, do you provide that to both buyer's agent and listing agent?
Yes. We actually have an automated task that goes out that as soon as we
Why?
download.
Because the contract says it has to be done. Contract says that title commitment shall be received 15 days prior to closing with a loan, 5 days prior to closing if it's cash. So they're taking care of that step for you when they have title commitment. If you haven't got an email from them getting close to that, reach out and ask them where that's at. It may have went to spam or correct. Yep.
Yes. So we will send it out to the seller's agent and sellers, the buyer's agent and the buyers. And it goes out automated email, and everyone can review the commitment. If you ever have questions on the commitment, that's what I'm here for. Give me a call, ask me, review it. It's something that you guys actually want to look at. A lot of agents just say, oh, cool, I got our commitment, cool, and they pass it off. Look at it, look it over real quick. If you see any kind of liens, judgments, IRS tax liens, anything like that, give us a call because there could be an issue with those. Those are the kind of things that can hold up title. But back with the communication. Once we get our commitment, like I said, we'll contact your sellers. You guys are our agents. So if we know you guys really well and we get a contract, you guys are busy. Unless you're like, hey, please call me every time you get a contract. Probably not going to, not because we don't love y'all, but we know your time's valuable. And you're like, cool, thanks. I love to reach out to you guys every time you send me a contract. So you'll probably get an email or a text or something from me because I'm usually like, hey, cool, thanks. I'm working on this for you, or I'm helping in the back end. This is who your closer is. You're also going to get an automated email. Every time we do get your information in a new contract, it's going to ask you to fill out the information. If you've already filled it out on your deal sheet, you can just say, hey, it's on the deal sheet. Thanks, appreciate it. Just know that we got your order. Here's who your team is. If it's not on that deal sheet and we're asking you for your commission amounts, we're asking for the seller or buyer's information, it's important. Get it back to us as soon as possible so then we can reach out to your buyers or sellers. But we also like to communicate when we do see issues on those title commitments. If we really think it's going to be an issue, us at Paramount, we like to let you know as soon as possible, as soon as we see it. So if we see it come up and we're like, this is probably going to be difficult, we're going to call you and reach out and let you know that it's on the commitment. This is what's going on. Questions for me?
Anybody have any questions on that? So basic communication is key. If reach out to make it a point. So one of the points they tell you is make a contact with your buyer, with the buyers or your sellers, whichever side you represent, once a week. You might as well just reach out to your closer once a week too. Just wanted to follow up and see where everything's at moving forward on this side. And do you need anything from me? A simple email like that is one extra email in their inbox. It's not a phone call that's dragging them away from everything. They'll reply to it and let you know all's looking good. I'm still waiting on this, or I haven't received this yet. And you can start working on that. Communication is absolutely key. So they're going to hit you with the main points: received, sent. You'll get the contact stuff that you have to fill out. They'll get you a title commitment. And then from there, it's going to be from there moving to closing, depending on if there's an HOA estoppel, if there's loan payoff, and things like that. Those are going to be circumstantial for each contract. But just make it a habit to send on Monday a follow-up email to everybody. Mr. Seller, everything's been going good or has not been going good. We're waiting on this. No new news, whatever it is. Title, just want to let you know everybody's done with this. Everything's moving forward. I mean, simple things like that will go a long way.
Yeah, and know that until until the contract gets to the point where it's being balanced, the numbers game with the lender, or it's almost time for closing, your point of contact is going to be your processor, not your closer. The closer doesn't really see the file or know much about the file until it gets to the point that the processor has handed it over. So if you have a question on where the status is, or hey, did we order a survey, anything like that, those type of questions, you're going to want to reach out to your processor. And on those welcome emails, it always tells you, hey, your closer is going to be blah, blah, blah. Your processor is blah, 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 blah. Processor is who you want to reach out to until it gets to the point of now we're messing with figures, we're talking about money. That's when the closer has the file. Until then, the closer really doesn't know. So just know where it is in the process is a big thing.
Any questions online in the room? Good. Nice quick little update and reminder. What do you got? You got a bunch of
I do. I have tickets. Okay. If you write your name on the back of your ticket, I'm going to come collect them all and we're going to do a couple drawings because, fun, fun, fun.
Cool. Awesome. So Jimmy will grab that. While you're doing that, I'm going to start jumping into my agenda. All right, guys, please put your name on the back of your ticket. Tiffany will pick it up. I'm gonna jump through the agenda and start going through here. A couple things to cover. Guys, we have our writing doesn't require talking. That's okay. Your pen doesn't need to hear you talk through the process. So we're bringing back a Happy Agent podcast. We haven't done them in a little while. So if you're someone who likes to talk, who thinks you've got some great stories to tell and would like to communicate with us and put together a nice little podcast, reach out to me or Mike Puma or send an email to both of us. We'd like to get you on the Happy Agent podcast. It's nothing too crazy. It's just a great way for you to kind of market yourself a little bit. They're going to talk to you about your business, about your attitude, about your mindset, about things like that. And it's just another great little marketing tool for you. We're going to put it onto all of our social media, onto our YouTube, onto things like that. You'll have it as well. Please reach out to me, Mike Puma, Jeff Beggins. Send a copy to all of us in an email, and that's perfectly fine. We'll get you on there. Jimmy's going to put together a vendor list through one of the Google documents, a Google shared document. It's going to be shared, so you guys are going to start sending us or adding your vendors to this list. Please, if they're not a licensed person, there's going to be a separate section for like handyman type thing, and we can make sure we say if they're licensed or general contractor type of position. So we're just trying to get something out there so you can go to that and pull some of the vendors off of there. You heard Craig mention it. Tony Robbins. Every year, they didn't do it last year because of COVID, but every year they come in and they pitch to different brokerages, different businesses. They have the Unleash the Power Within coming at the end of the year. So what they do is they offer free peak performance workshops to different companies to kind of elevate your level of expectancy with your business and with your mindset. Stephen Hilgard is going to be doing that September 1st at 2 p.m. I'm going to be sending out an email, and it's going to require an RSVP. It is going to be on Zoom. So it's going to be a Zoom meeting September 1st at 2 p.m. And he's going to get into breaking down belief systems, where everything comes from, how you can get to the next level, the things that you want. And then he's going to offer a great deal on the UPW tickets in person or virtual, because they are doing virtual UPW as well as in person. So they'll be selling both of those tickets. You'll have an RSVP from me. We got ribbon, and what was the other one? Good. So I want to talk about, we're just going to continue on talking about commissions and commission objections that we have. So before I jump into this, I'd like to open it up to anybody with any comments or anything that you're hearing or any objections that you've had that you want to address up front. And we can kind of talk about those before. If you have someone online, please unmute yourself, throw it in. Anybody in the room, what are you hearing a lot of, and what are you having difficulties putting objection handlers to or talking through? About just objections with listings. Most of them are going to be commissions, length, commission time, things like that. Thank you. What are you getting objections for? What are you having issues overcoming, or what are you hearing a lot of, even if it's just through people, friends, social media? Cue the crickets. Nobody? Okay, we'll get to buyer's objections. We're just going to keep talking about seller ones really quickly. So what's the deal with 4% commissions? Or is anybody hearing that? Oh, so I ask you what you're hearing, and then you don't tell me that you're hearing and say, "Oh yeah, we're hearing that one." No, but you don't want to talk about it.
Hey, Chris.
So okay, so houses are selling. Houses will sell without any working on the agent's part. Houses are selling so fast. It's going to sell that quick anyway. It doesn't matter what I pay for it. So one objection I got from a seller right out of the gates. I'm just going to say this. It was the first conversation. I'm just going to say this right up front. I'm just going to get it out there. This is, we'll bring it up when the time comes. I won't talk about it again. But I'm finding it really hard to pay you 6% when the home's going to sell so fast. And this is blah, 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 and going on and on and on. I said, so what's the first thing you need to do in that situation? And And the gentleman that just left the room is who I wanted to really point out. But listen, that's one thing. You have to listen so you understand where they're coming from. Absolutely. What's the next thing you want to do in that situation? Agree with him. Very good. Agree. Align with them. We don't want to object to them. We don't want to go in and say, why don't you don't want to pay? It's not a personal thing. You're not paying me 6%. You're actually shorting yourself out. So let's find a way. Let's align with them. Ray Monahan, probably the best at that. We can have a normal conversation and the guy walks away and he could get anything out of me because everything he does, he goes, well, Chris, I mean, I'm just, the reason that I can understand why you would straight away, everything is just alignment, alignment, alignment. And by the end of the conversation, I feel stupid doing anything different from what he told me to do because he just aligned with everything that I said. And then he slowly took the emotion out of it and brought logic. People buy with emotion and justify with logic, right? Buy with emotion, justify with logic. So they're emotionally attached to what at first? The money. It's not about what you pay me. It's about the money you're going to put in your pocket. They're emotionally attached with giving money. I'm the same way. I don't like paying Tico. I don't like paying Frontier. I don't like paying my car payment. I don't like paying my mortgage. I hate giving money to people for those things. The same that he hates giving money. He's emotionally attached to it. He doesn't want to give it out. So first thing is align. Mr. Seller, I completely understand why you would feel that way. The homes are selling really fast, and it really does appear that us as agents are just out there dancing in the streets with all of our pocket full of money, right? That's what it seems like, right? Every home is selling. Everybody's getting top dollar. Homes are selling above this. I completely understand why you would think that way. But let me ask you a question. Is selling a home fast really a good thing? Change of basis point. Is selling a home fast really a good thing? Because, well, I mean, I don't know. We don't have to do the showings. We don't, no, trust me, you're going to do the showings. You're going to have a lot of, if it sells fast, that means that there's a ton of people interested. There's a ton of people looking at the home. There's going to be a ton of, we're going to be navigating and negotiating through that. So is selling the home fast really the best thing? If you sell your home in one day, what did you just do? No, not giving away. If you sold the home in one day, you sold it to one of the first 10 to 20 buyers that came through. What about the other 20 to 100 that wanted to see it later that weekend but had to work or weren't in town or couldn't get their agent out there or their agent was busy because their agent was busy showing 20, 30, 40 other homes for another buyer and writing 20, 30, 40 offers? Oh, and that same point, by the way, let me just express to you. I know it seems like we're making a ton of money, but we're doing 10 times the amount of work for every single listing that we get. We're not getting paid in proportion to the amount of work that we're doing. You say that we're making so much more money. I'm telling you, the difference between me selling your home for $800,000 and $850,000 is $1,500 more in my pocket. But I'm making proportionally compared to $24,000, $1,500 more. Proportionally, I'm making really not much more, and it's not about the money for me. It's really about the time, energy, and effort for me that I'm putting into it. And I'll do it every time. But we're navigating through 10 to 15 times the amount of offers, 10 to 15 times the amount of phone calls, 10 to 15 times the amount of showings, 10 to 15 times the amount of negotiations and emails and everything that we go through to do that and to get to that point. And then as a buyer's agent, when they're trying to object to paying 3% on the buyer side, I don't think that's really going to be the best thing. The buyer's agents are already frustrated enough. They're showing 10 to 20 times the amount of homes, writing 10 to 20 times the amount of offers, spending 10 to 20 times the amount of gas money to get the buyers out to these properties. Those are the ones that we want on our side. Those are the ones we want to keep that. So really, is selling a home fast the best thing for you? If you sell it fast, that means you shorted yourself the opportunity to sell it to 20 to 50 other buyers that want to come in on Wednesday, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday because we put it on the market today. And the first offer that we got was 800 and it was 810. They're going to pay more than the list price. Yes, that's awesome. Take it. Let's get it under contract and be done with it. But I'm telling you that the way that we can structure and navigate, position, and market your property has the potential to put more money in your pocket. So you may have saved 2% by listing with somebody who's going to charge you 4% on the list side. But the reality is when we have offers that escalate to 850 and you accepted an 810 offer, that's a $40,000 difference. So you're being, what's the saying? What is that? Penny wise and dollar foolish, or dollar wise and penny foolish? Yeah, same thing. Whatever. You're just being stupid. It's what you're. No, we have to make sure that we're giving them that information. Don't be afraid to tell them how much work it is right now. Look, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm tired, but I'm still, as a single agent, I'm gonna go to work for you every single time. So the fact that there's people doing it for 4%, what is it? What are they doing for 4%? They want to sell your home fast. They want to get it gone. They want it off their books. They're not going to fight for that extra $1,500 in their commission. Why? Because this was a cheap deal. This was an easy deal for them. It's in, done, gone, get it done, get it sold, get it out of my way. I'll get my 1%, 1.5%, and I'll offer 2.5% on the other side. They are getting paid less than the buyer's agent. So how much work are they actually going to do? Letting them know that when we go to work for you, this is what we do. People believe we get the whole commission, so I educate my clients on that. The $6 method works well, and they're often surprised at the fact that we only get $1. Has anybody familiar with the $6? No, you haven't seen that. Can you see? I'm $6. It doesn't matter what they are. So you put your $6 on the table. One of them. So those are $6. So let me break this down for you. Let me show you this. So first of all, we don't charge 6%. We charge 3% for everything that we do. I just want you to fully understand that. So when we're looking at this, these $6, this is our 6% commission that you're going to have to pay. We only charge 3% because right away, this 3% right here, these $3, that's off the table. This is what we do to market and navigate and negotiate for the buyer's agent to make sure we get the best buyer, the best agent, and the guy who is actually committed to selling your home. Because remember, you said your neighbor is selling your home and they're overpriced and not as nice as yours, but I looked it up, they're only offering 2%. If we offer 3%, that means you are going to be offering them $8,000 more than that home is offering them. Do you think he's going to be more committed to getting your property through inspections, through appraisals, through everything? Because if he goes with that one, the first time he sees it, remember we told you there was going to be issues, but the next door neighbor is a little bit nicer, and they have the right to cancel that contract. So what we're left with here is we're left with 3%. This is what my company is going to charge you. My company, not me. I don't charge you this. My company makes me do this. So the first 1%, this is going to go to my broker. Because he needs a little bit to wet his beak. So make him an offer he can't refuse. He's going to take his dollar. He's going to take his dollar. Then we're left with 2% back here on the table. This next dollar, this is what I'm going to spend on marketing. This is what I'm going to spend on taxes. This is what I'm going to spend on everything I'm going to do to make sure that I get your property sold. I'm an independent contractor. I got to pay for my own gas. I got to pay for my own marketing materials. I got to pay for my own photos, my own signs, my own flyers, my own this. I pay for all of those things. So that leaves $1 left on the table. This is my last dollar. Do you really want to take my last dollar? You're trying to take the last 1% on the table. You really want to take my last dollar? I mean, I'll go home and tell my kids they got to eat hot dogs for a week if you really want to take my last dollar. So it's just a little bit of levity to the situation, just changing a basis point again, getting them off of that. So I've done it. I've done it before. It's just for you're changing the basis point. You're changing the basis point because they're so focused on what they're paying, and then you're getting them to think of something different. And you're telling them a story too. The story that you're telling them is actually allowing them to relate. The same thing of reason why I align with them and I give them, I could see why you would think that. And if I misjudge what I think they're feeling, they're going to let me know. So if I label the way, I could see why you would feel that way. I could see why it seems that way in this market. If I misjudge that, they're just going to tell me, no, I don't think that. No harm, no foul. They told me what they think. Now I understand truly what that objection is. But the first thing you do is align and label the situation. It seems that you feel this way, or it appears this way. I could see why you would. Well, I don't think that. Okay. Well, then tell me a little bit more. Express to me how you really feel and why it's really an issue for you. And you'll actually get to the bottom of it quicker. Sellers are saying they've been hearing on the news that homes are selling over asking price as soon as it hits the market and they want top dollar. So why pay someone an extra 2 or 3% more to bring a buyer when they are coming anyway? Stepping over dollars to get nickels. That's right. So the facts of the matter are the buyers aren't necessarily coming anyway if you try and sell it in the first day. We are marketing to buyers in California, New York, Texas, all over the place. And our golden ruler will show them where we're marketing to these buyers. So the buyers are going to come through here. Yes, my true value isn't just in putting it on the market, making sure everybody sees it. My true value is in getting everybody through the door. Let me tell you about the last navigating and negotiating that we did. We had a property that was for sale for X amount of dollars, let's say $700,000. The buyer came in with an offer that was escalating to 701. It was listed at 759 or 659. They offered up to $701,000. They offered list price escalating to 701. So we had other offers that were a little bit better as far as price. That blank on the contract was better, but the rest of their terms were not as good. We weren't confident with the buyer. We weren't confident with their lending. We weren't confident with any of those things. What did I do? I picked up the phone. I called the agent. I told him and said, hey, look, just letting you know, we have our highest and best offers coming in by Tuesday. I know we already talked about that. And I just want to let you know, as it stands, your buyer might not be able to get this property. So, whatever they could change might be in their best interest. I'm letting everybody else know something similar. The seller has asked me to call everybody, ask them for their highest and best, tell them that, hey, as everything stands, it's not looking too good for everything. So, let's see what we can get out of this. They made a couple changes, got it up. We're reviewing offers, and while we're reviewing offers, the buyer's agent actually sent me a text because I told him I'm meeting him at this time. He goes, how's it looking? My reply, a face like the emoji face, like, what's that mean? Not looking too good. Comes right back. 5 minutes later, buyer will offer $20,000 more and will pay this much more over the appraisal. All because of why? Because I took the time to make phone calls. I probably called every buyer's agent at least 2 or 3 times, texted and emailed, asking them where they're at. I'm creating the buzz through that. What do most people want to do? You get a message? Sorry, due to the amount of phone calls, please leave a text. I won't be able to get back to you. We're reviewing offers. Send all offers to this email address. Not even answering your call. I'm answering every single phone call, talking to every single person. Just because of doing those simple things, we got the best offer to come up $20,000 more than what they were originally offering because we navigated, negotiated, communicated with everybody. Not everybody's going to do that, especially when they're only charging 4%, taking 1.5%, and they're only going to make an extra $1,500 if they do it this way. For me, I have to. Why? Because I'm a single agent for you, and I have a fiduciary responsibility to you to make sure that you walk away from this deal with the most amount of money in your pocket and get exactly what it is that you want. And I'm going to do that. And I take that task seriously. So, yes, you're telling me that the home's going to sell over this or over that and everything, but that's not necessarily the case. Here's the other situation. What happens when you overprice your home? Can you overprice a home in this market? Yep. You see homes that haven't sold? Craig just talked about one. You see homes that haven't sold in a week, 2 weeks, 30 days. You've seen some on the market for 70, 80, 90 days. Yes. Can you overprice a home in this market? Yes. Will you get the additional over asking price offers if you overvalue your home? More than likely, no. So, Mr. Seller, my position is this. I know you want to list it at, let's say it was 700. I know you want to list it at 750. But I'm telling you the value of your property is more in this range. Now, here's what we want to do. We want to position your property. That's part of the 3% you pay me, marketing and positioning, to position your property on market where the value truly is. Your value is between 650 and 690. That's where your value is. We need to position it in here because why? Every buyer that sees that is going to say, wow, that's a really nice property. And priced well. Everybody else is freaking crazy. I can't believe the prices they want. That's priced where it should be. I'm interested. Now they get interested. First thing, they're attached and interested. Next thing you know, they come and look at the property, get more attached because the value is there. And then we allow the buyer to determine how much more valuable it is than what we put on for the price. And when they start making offers over list price, I have the power to go back to the seller, to the buyer's agent and say, hey, look, you're going to have to waive that appraisal. Well, the buyer's not comfortable doing that. Well, then why don't you just offer me $1 million and make it even? That'll really look good. He goes, well, why would we do that? Because it's the same. It's not going to appraise at the price you put on there. We priced it at where the value of the property truly is, and we're confident in that value. If your buyer determines that it's worth more, your buyer has to be willing to pay that much more. Waive your appraisal or you're not going to get this offer. I'm just telling you. It's already been directed to me by the seller that we will not accept an offer that does not win the appraisal or is not willing to pay over that appraisal. So the objection I got was, yeah, but if you sell it yourself, then you get the whole 6%. I'm glad you brought that up, Mr. Seller, that, I'll get to keep the whole 6% because, I'm not here, not trying to take money out of your pocket. I completely understand that. I want to focus on putting more in your pocket. So let me tell you what I'm willing to do. I'm willing, if I bring the buyer myself, bring the buyer, and am able to put more money in your pocket the way that I'm seeing it, the way that I'm saying it could be done, because I could put $20,000 to $50,000 more in your pocket. You wouldn't be okay with me making an extra 16 if I put 50,000 more in your pocket? No, you wouldn't be. Yeah, but still, it's 6. Okay, I understand that. How about this? I'm going to be doing twice the amount of work because I'm going to be working with you and the buyer's agent, the buyer, and I'm going to be working through. I'm going to have to show up for every inspection, every appraisal, every this, every that. I'm going to be working with the lender and the loan and the title and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be doing twice the amount of work, but because I really do value our relationship, I'm willing to give you a loyalty credit of 1% off if I'm able to navigate and negotiate through that. So I'll do twice the amount of work, but I'm only going to ask for, I'll give you a 30% discount on that. Does that seem fair? No? I'll do it for, then if you have to, if you get to the point, if you're tired of going through, you can do 4%. I'm willing to do 4. I'm willing to make an extra 1% on the deal because I will get 3% on the list side and an extra 1% on the buy side for something that I was probably already going to do because I'm a very diligent agent and I already do the buyer's agent job most of the time anyway. Following through with the inspection, showing up, opening doors, going back and locking doors, calling the lender, talking a title. I'm already going to be doing those things. So if I get paid an extra 1%, I'm okay with it. But I don't want to just roll over. So I want to let him know. So if I'm able to put an additional, let's just say this, let's say I put an additional $50,000 in your pocket, you wouldn't be okay with me making an extra 8 or an extra 15 or an extra 10, whatever that number is. That wouldn't be okay with you? See what they say. You're going to take my last dollar? You'd be okay taking that out of my pocket if I'm going to do this, that, and the other, and I was able to navigate and put that much more money in your pocket. So realistically, I put 50 grand in more minus the $10,000 extra that I'll make on that. So you made $40,000 more than you're hoping for. And you're really going to try and take that out of my pocket when I'm the one that created it and made that happen for you? No, if we have to, you can go down and you can reduce that and give them a loyalty credit. I would like to give you I don't do discounts. I'm not a discount brokerage. I'm not discounting our fees. Our fee is 6%. I'm willing, if I bring the buyer up, I'm willing to give you a loyalty credit for giving me the opportunity to represent both sides and transition to a transaction broker. You still don't, Kim, and you now have to do twice the work. That's right, you have to do twice the work. True, true. What do you say when it's an elderly person who needs every dime they can get but doesn't want to pay for the work it will take, and because you help their daughter purchase house businesses, you earn the seller the seller thinks you should give them a discount. We don't do discounts. I just tell them that straight out. I don't do discounts. So because of this situation, I worked with your family, I would be willing to give you a loyalty credit if it helps earn your business. But again, that loyalty credit with the market the way that it is, you saw that 70% of all of the listings are offering 2.5% or better. And of that 75%, probably 50 to 60% of them were offering 2.5%, 2.75, and about 10 to 15% were offering 3. You have to go to 5%. We'll go to 5%, do 2.5, but we want to try to keep that standard of 6%. So if you have to, we give them a loyalty credit of a 1% loyalty credit, and I'll give it to you as a credit at closing. I'm happy to do that. But the commission is still always a full commission with a loyalty credit. We don't discount it to 5%. So at closing, seller shall receive a 1% credit on the settlement statement. So we can give them something like that. Still paying the broker even if you sell it yourself. That's right. So this broker still takes my portion of it. This goes to my broker because he's got to wet his beak like the mafia, and he wants to get his portion of it. And you'll make the broker out to be the bad guy. That's fine. If you're ever negotiating and navigating through and you don't want to roll over, make the broker the bad guy. Make me the bad guy. Sorry, my manager's not going to be very happy with that. They're not going to approve it. Let's put it on paper the way that you want it. Then let's put it. What's that? Yeah, let's put it on paper the way that you want it. Let's get it on paper the way that you want to do it, and we'll get it initialed, but I need to write into the additional terms pending manager approval, pending broker approval. And I mean, he was in one hell of a mood this morning at our meeting, so I'm not sure if it'll fly, but let me see what I can do for you. I'll go to bat for you. Mhm. Mhm. So taking the time to explain to them, but you got to be careful. You got to know who you're dealing with. Not every seller wants to hear that shit. Taking the time to express to them what we're going to do, how we're going to position it, how we're going to this, what the listing presentation is. Absolutely. Just be careful who you're talking to. Some people don't give a shit about any of that. They're going to go straight. No, I don't care about it. What? He goes, what's the 6%? He goes, yep, I need my net. Good. So you need. Yep, you need your net. What's your net number? And then you at that point you have got to make a decision. If their net is $50,000 higher than anything is ever sold for, now you have decisions to make. How do you want to run your business? I'm just no. That's you have to understand the person you're dealing with. You have to understand the person you're talking to. Not everybody wants to hear. Not everybody wants to hear certain things. Not everybody wants to know everything. Some people want to know everything. Some people are going to ask every single question, and you better have an answer for it. You better not stumble through it. So, um, cash buyers out there. So here's what you're looking at. Just along with like the Zillow buyers, the offer pads, the open doors, and everything, those cash buyers. How are they getting so much business right now? Because the same reason people buy with emotion and justify with logic. Think of this. How are they marketing everything? Are they marketing it like, come to us, we'll offer you less for your home? Easy, seamless, no showings, no appraisal, no this. I'll even help you move. What is the most difficult part of selling? Showings, preparing it, waiting, moving. They hit every single one of them. They're hitting on their emotional strings. And then they come around with the logical side of it for a small fee, for this or that at the very end. And then or the testimonials that they have on the people that tell I sold for a very because it was a fair offer and I got what I wanted. It gave me $20,000 more. Then what? 20 grand more than what? But they're putting all it's buy with emotion, justify with logic. That's what their positioning is buy with emotion, justify with logic. They're getting the seller to buy in with emotion. They're justifying everything with logic. So last thing before we sign off, Move Easy Concierge. Move Easy Concierge is on Thursday. Please show up for that meeting on Thursday. That's going to go through and walk through all of those things. It's an amazing, awesome program that will tie your buyer to you when they buy a home for the life of them owning that home. You have the ability to put in vendor lists. You have the ability to put in mortgage brokers. You have the ability to put all that stuff in. They have a home concierge that if they need anything, they can go to this home concierge who will direct them to what's on our page. And if we don't have one there, they're going to get them to like Angie's List or a home was a home was it
Home advisor.
home advisor. They'll get them to the number 1 or number 2 rated person on one of those sites. So it's really cool. They've got discounts for moving, discounts for any of that. It's got a really really good ring to it, and it works into be a good platform. So Thursday, 8:30 to 9:30 during the daily training. Please show up for that. We'll talk about ribbon that cash buyer next week. Just so you can. Yeah, I'll log into it here in the daily training, so it's on here, but it'll be on Zoom, just the way that is. And then be on the lookout for an email from me to RSVP for the Peak Performance Workshop from Tony Robbins and Stephen Hilgart. That'll be basically 2 weeks, September 1st at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns? Good? No? No. Good? Awesome. You guys have a wonderful afternoon. I appreciate you all logging in and showing up.